Hey, what's up, y'all? Let's get into a couple of things this morning, and y'all, a little messy. So, Donald Trump, secretary, secretary advisor, ended up doing something so stupid. He added uh, a journalist to the to the group chat, and this journalist ended up hearing a lot of the secretive conversation that you should not be hearing that were classified about war plans and operations. And I don't understand why the journalists didn't stick their head in a little bit longer to, you know, write a little articles and let it leak. Because I said this was a mistake on their behalf. But people gonna do what they gonna do. Let's move on past that. Let's move on to Southern University. So they ended up now banning all frats and sororities since the incident of Cable um, Wilson ended up being hazed and losing his life. So there's no more of them. So that's how that's gonna be, and they'll find something else to do. But moving on past that, let's get into some other stuff now. Let's get into Kenya Moore. So Kenya Moore ended up putting up this traitor on her social media because Porsha and Brit ended up hanging out, going out to hang out and chill and kiki and stuff, and Kenya didn't like it. And we know what's going on between Kenya and her friendship with Shamia, and Shamia ain't messing with Brit because Brit didn't say something about her daughter, her youngest daughter, whatever that was. And so Kenya said she's a traitor. So, what you expect. You and Kenya and Portia ain't never been friends. They more like frenemies. It's a tick for tat. Keep it moving, but let's move on. Let's move on to a story that came out from Florida, y'all. The foolery. And this man was actually digging a grave to put the victim he had assaulted in it. And they were still alive. It ain't funny, but when you read the article, you be like, what? So he put the man back in it. So apparently this happened at a campsite. And him and the man got into it, and he literally hit the man in the head several times. Then went in the woods, dug a shallow grave, and put the man in it. So the police ended up doing an investigation and finding out what went down. And they got the victim out. The victim is actually have a long recovery journey where he's gonna long recovery from the injuries. He ended up losing memory loss, which is the saddest thing. So we don't know what he had lost. Hope it wasn't something important and precious. But they still investigating to see out what really caused it to happen. But this Florida man is charged with attempted murder. Good luck, sir. But let's move on past him. Let's move on to the the return of the Mac. The singer Mark Morrison ended up getting himself arrested, y'all, down in Florida at Palm Beach, Florida. He actually ended up getting to a heated argument at a restaurant, and he ended up being charged with battery. And I'm like, oh Lord, hope everything worked out. But good luck to you, sir. So let's get down to my last thing I got for y'all today. And that comes from Mr. Boosie. So Boosie ended up doing this event at um, Southern University, and the who was it? Louisiana General, Louisiana Attorney General ended up threatening him with legal action because he used Cable Wilson's name to promote during his promoting on the news and everything. So apparently Boosie ended up saying that he actually talked to the family and stuff. But the family came out to say that they did not have a conversation with him about anything about him doing his annual event, and that he was going to be using their child's name in any form, any fashion, because he said he was going to give proceeds from the show to that, and he was starting a scholarship in his name. So you know, the attorney general want to seek legal action. That's what she looking into, and it's what it is. You had people in the comments defending Boosie that he was doing a good thing and stuff. I said, but if you didn't have that conversation with the family to actually ask them for that, then there's an issue. But y'all tell me how y'all feel about it and let me know. Let me see what's going on in the comments. How y'all doing today? How everything's going? How y'all doing? How y'all day going so far? Um, Thank y'all for tuning in. It's your boy Paul. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I get back at y'all later. Bye, y'all.